Everyone, my name's Lionel, and I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering Zatima. This is season 3, episodes 7 and 8. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video in support of me, and you can subscribe if you're not subscribed, and you can leave your comments below. So let's get into these episodes. Episode 8 is intense for me. It was heartbreaking. Oh, hopefully you guys feel what I feel. I cried earlier. The cat's out of the bag. Like, oh God. But anyways, right after the confrontation between Zach, Nathan, and Tony, he's walking out mad. Zach is walking out mad. He sees Fatima. While walking by, of course, Connie and Belinda are there. And Belinda's like, hey, Zach. And Zach's like, why you gotta be so mean? Belinda, you are one thirsty, desperate, single black female. And it's ridiculous at this point. Fatima and Zach, they talk. Zach said, please tell me what happened with you. I just found out. What happened? Is it true? Nathan then told me. And then, of course, Fatima's yelling at Nathan like, why did you tell him that's bullshit? Da-da-da-da-da. And Nathan said, look, Zach, I tried to tell you, and they tried to tell me not to tell you, blah, 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 blah. Tony trying to put his 2 cents in, and Fatima said, or Zach was like, you had your chance. Zach asked, I'm going to ask you one more time, what happened? And Fatima's like, well, Nathan's telling you stuff that's not really true. He don't know what happened. Did he push you? Or did he hurt you? What happened, basically? And she's still lying. Basically, Zach leaves. Fatima and Connie, they get together. Zach and Fatima share their locations. So she's trying to find him and follow him. Nathan wants to find Jeremiah. I think Tony does too. Nathan's with Belinda. They end up finding Jeremiah. Belinda wants no parts of having Jeremiah come to the house. She's like, that's my house. Da, 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 da. I don't want no crackhead up in my house. Da, 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 da. Blah, 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 blah. Nathan's like, no, we got to save him. They get him, put it in the car, and then she's talking so down to Jeremiah. I was hurt for Jeremiah at that point because we do treat drug addicts like that. We may not even say it to their face, but we'll just talk down about them, and he's got a problem. Zach and everyone, Fatima and everyone else is like, he's really got a problem. If he did have help, he will not have done that. As Zach, I think, went by somewhere. I forgot what it was. Fatima caught up with him. And Zach's like, look, what happened to you? Fatima finally tells some of the truth again. She says that, look, we struggled, we wrestled a little bit, he was trying to get some money, and that was it. I hit my head. And he was like, so that's where you got that extra makeup at. Let me see your bruise. And Fatima was like, no. Let me see your bruise. We're seeing this man really crash. He's not crashing out as of yet. But you can see not just anger is taking over him. There is some trauma that Zach is dealing with. Fatima's trying to get him to not blow up, and it's not working. Zach turns off his location, and basically he's just gonna find Jeremiah, and it's on site. Fatima and Connie, they drive around, and they're trying to look for Jeremiah also. Fatima, at this point, I think she said, look, I can't keep worrying about him 24/7. It's a weird situation to be in. This woman's trying to fight for her man in her way, and he don't want that type of fight. He feels a certain type of way. Kind of break up from this. Let's go on over to Bryce and Preston. They meet, they talk. Bryce was a little bit shaky with Preston wanting to help, but then he accepts it and he thanks him for really saving them and all that. Preston, they're trying to wait for Zach to get home. They're calling him. They're not really getting any answers. Da 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 da. Bryce was like, I think you're a really cool guy. Preston's talking a little bit business ethics and mathematics, and he was like, I'm really impressed. He's like, why? Because we're not really, nobody's really expecting you to have all this knowledge and business wise. And he said, because it doesn't look like you're that bright. And Preston's like, well, Bryce said, oh, I'm sorry for doing that. And he said, don't apologize. I love when people underestimate me, and I think that that's a quality that you should have. Because when people just count you out, down and out, you really are the one that got the upper hand in a lot of these situations. So believe whatever you want to believe about me. I'm going to show you in the end I'm not who you think I am. They end up leaving his place. I think Angela and Bryce, they did have a conversation also. And they're basically good. Sean comes over. Bryce was attracted to Sean. Oh my God. It's a little awkward comedy scene. So back to this whole situation. Nathan takes Jeremiah to Belinda's. Nathan takes him upstairs. Her and Nathan, they get into it because she don't really want him there. I get that aspect of this whole situation. And Nathan's like, well, what are you talking about? You're the one that said, call Zach. Now you don't want to help or do anything else? No, he can't get up in my house. That drug addict, that crackhead. No, he's on heroin. Okay, heroin addict. Blah, 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 blah. So Nathan goes to check on Jeremiah. Belinda ends up calling Zach and leaving a message saying, hey, Jeremiah's over here. I say, you are one gutter snipe itch. Why would you do that, ma'am? You know how hot he is. And guess what? The blow up is going to happen at your home. You are one dumb woman. What happens next is all on you. So Zach ends up talking with Mr. Tyrone. Tony had talked to Mr. Tyrone and said, hey, Zach may be around there. Can you kind of stall him? And he said, yeah. Zach was trying to maintain himself. He was speaking out of turn with Mr. Tyrone, and he said, who the F you think you are? Zach was able to calm down. Mr. Tyrone broke down a lot to Zach to try to get him to realize what this is all about. Zach feels like he's weak if he does not defend his wife, fiance. And Tyrone said, you think that this is going to make you strong? You think it's weak? What if, and he gave him situations or hypotheticals. What if you go and beat up Jeremiah? He's high right now. What if you end up killing him? You really think that defending him, Zatima, and you're going to lose your girl? Fatima's not like that. Fatima's going to stay. Oh, you think somebody's really going to stay with you while you do time in jail? That's it for you guys. He was trying to get through to him, and basically Zach said, I respect you or whatever, but I gotta go. Tony sees him, and Tony's like, look, I'm sorry. Because Zach was like, where's the loyalty at? We're supposed to be boys. And Tony said, yeah, we are boys. And I'm willing to prove it. And then Zach was like, oh, so when we catch up with Jeremiah, you gonna help me beat his ass? And Tony was like, yeah, I'll do it. Zach just called BS. Anyways. So, I don't know how Zatima found out. Somebody told her. Oh, also it looks like Zatima is letting her guard down with Connie. She was like, I think you're a real one. I think that you're really cool. Connie's like, look, I really think that you are meant for Zach. And you're exactly what Zach needs, blah, 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 blah. They find out that Jeremiah's at Belinda's. Zatima goes and picks up Angela, breaks up the whole situation with Angela and Sean. Sean's cooking for Angela and all that. Of course, Angela does have good things to say about Sean. They leave and they go to Belinda's home. Belinda's denying that she said anything to Zach or whatever. Zatima talks with Jeremiah. She's like, Jeremiah, you know who I am? Yes. You know that Zach is really upset and he's trying to find you. I know. He's like, what I need for you to do is just stay off the streets for oh wow, I gotta get Zach to calm down. And he's like, yeah, okay. He's really strung out and hot. And he said, just hide out here for a while, blah, 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 blah. Well, who's all there at this point? I think Tony calls someone to let them know that Zach is... Oh, Tony calls Nathan and says, you know, do you know somebody that's on the 8th Avenue or whatever? Like, yeah, this is where Belinda is. Well, that's where he's headed at. I'm following him. So they said, oh God, Zach is coming. Zach busts through the door and is in a rage. He starts breaking all Belinda's stuff. He's like, look, y'all better tell me where Jeremiah is at. I'm going to start breaking you guys. Busting this stuff up against their head. And then he ends up getting emotional and he was like, look, y'all broke my heart. You lied to me. You lied to me. Y'all lied to me. And I love you. At this point, Zach is so isolated, or feels isolated, when these people were just trying to help him and love him in a way that he wasn't really willing to accept. He's like, tell me where Jeremiah is. Tell me where Jeremiah is. Fatima runs to the stairs. And Zach was like, you don't think you move, Fatima? No. You don't think I will move you, blah, 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 blah. And Fatima said, no. So then he gets frustrated some more, and he starts breaking more stuff. Tony was still trying to help Zach. Zach gave this vase to Tony to break. Since you said the weak boys, let's go on and break this. And Tony said, no, we can't do this, Zach. Zach ends up manhandling Tony. Ugh. And then Nathan comes up, and then he shoves Nathan out the way. And then he goes to the steps, and all of a sudden we hear gunshots. Zach is back downstairs trying to protect Fatima. I said, Lord Jesus. Honestly, I didn't think things could get so intense over season 2. But my God, this season is so great. To see Zach just not have just this anger issue. No, his traumas is coming out. He's really heartbroken over the people he thought that he could trust that was lying to him. That was mentioned in this. Like, I think that he's held his cool as long as he could. It's hard to say who was wrong and who was right. Lying to him didn't help. I can say that much. Too bad they didn't call Dr. Reed beforehand, you know. Oh my God. I don't know. I don't know what the right thing was. But Belinda, you are a gutter snipe bitch. Like, you are just really trifling for you to do that. And I'm glad your home got destroyed. I hope he destroys more. Because you wanted mess. You wanted chaos. And that's crazy. You can't just say, don't be bringing up, and then you wanted that type of mess. You wanted that type of BS. Whatever comes to you, lady, because you are a mess. Again, I enjoyed these episodes. I did cry. I hated how disparaging Belinda was towards Jeremiah. And to see Zach go out like that. Now, of course, there's already been... We know that something else is going to happen. And Zach is going to get into that ASS on Jeremiah. I don't want to see it. I do want to see it, but I hate to see it for Zach. So we shall see what happens. But that's all I do have. Y'all tell me your thoughts. You know, it's a lot, y'all. I appreciate everyone coming to my channel. Again, like this video, subscribe, and get in the comments. Until the next one, peace.